Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Outback by Night. This is a Red Center by Night's episode recap. Tonight, we are going to be talking about episode 7, which is the most dramatic episode in the whole series. My name is Rina, and I am the storyteller for this evening.
I'm Adam, and I'll be playing Charlie, or I've been playing Charlie, our Camarilla Banu Hakim.
I'm Joel, and I've been playing Trist, the Second Inquisition's kicking dog.
I'm Lou, and I've been playing Jeff, the
Hi.
Thin Blood.
I'm Melissa. I've been playing Alice Barr, our Nosferatu Bahari.
Hello, and I've been playing Jen, our Camarilla Gangrel.
I'm Sam. I've been playing the moderator, and I wasn't in this episode. Or was I?
Dun, dun, dun.
And I'm Sophie. I've been playing Dasha, the Tremere from the Bahari.
All right, let's start with the Camarilla first. Who would want to give an overview of what happened?
Tears and pain. That's what happened.
Yeah, job done. Well done.
Chopped up. That's it. That's the recap.
That is the synopsis. Okay, thanks, bye.
Trauma.
I got
Anguish.
everybody back, and then everybody abandoned me, and I cried through 50% of that episode.
Yeah.
I did too.
I'm glad. I'm
I
glad
think we
other
all
people
did,
were in
didn't we?
tears.
Gosh, we put off the inevitable for about an hour there, I think, and then the hammer she fell.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
Let's see what, and we went. We were gonna check in on the house.
Went to the house.
Jackson, to see if he is alive.
He was not there anymore.
No.
And we stopped everybody from eating the cookies. Nobody ate the cookies on
When
our
I
part,
tell
at least.
you that Izzy and I agonized over that moment. We were at the same table, and she and I just made eye contact, and we were like, "You want to eat that cookie?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to eat that cookie. You want to eat that cookie too, don't you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I want to eat that cookie."
I was just watching you guys, and I was like, "Oh, do not put that in your mouth."
Now that is a TikTok moment right there. I want that.
You're not
Lorna,
gonna.
I want
no,
that on
it's-
billboards across the city, please. Thank you very much.
It needs to be. It's. Someone needs to do it with the Bahari of the Second Inquisition. Like, you're not going to
Yes.
put that skin in your mouth, right? You just did. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, and when we turned it over and they said "take one" on the back, I was just like, "Oh
And
no."
all the stuff in the fridge also having like "take one" on it as well.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, I hate this.
No.
That's how you
World.
get
Bad
fed.
vibes.
Yeah, that is. Nobody say your name out loud in this room.
Whole house was just a walking red flag, I think.
Mhm.
I made
Which
you
is
a
why it was
fancy coat
difficult
out
for
of all these
Delilah.
fucking red flags.
And Maxie took the calling card that was supposed to be for the Bahari people. That was
Thanks,
dumb.
Maxie.
Supposed to be for the Bahari.
Hoovering up those clues.
Yeah.
Yoink.
It's fine. It's fine.
And that was one of those classic things where I was like trying everything to justify in my head eating one, because I was like, well, Charlie like has this like the gemstone with the Ventru blood in it, and like ate the blood to learn how to get there. Like it's got symmetry. And I was like, Charlie would absolutely not do this right now. It's just me desperately wanting to do it.
Yeah,
Goblin
it's like you
Adam
wanna
was having
create-
too much of a voice share.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got to have that, like, you know, that balance between, I want to do this thing because it'll create fantastic drama, like I know it will, but also my character is not that fucking dumb.
Not this time. There's also like, I know we have something important to do in the back half of this, and this would just create a whole lot of highway between
It would
us and
derail it,
that. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Can
But
someone
I-
tell that to Matt, please?
He
we
got
have
his.
stuff to do.
Well, Matt knows something about having a whole lot of highway ahead of him.
Yes.
Matt. But yeah, with the whole like Camarilla, I actually had to talk to the other groups. I had to have them pick,
Mhm.
and Hollow was picked as the Messiah.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, I was actually like at work or asleep when this. I was uncontactable when this discussion happened, or I happened to come into it late. because by the time I got into it, I'd been tagged and everyone had said, Hollow's the Messiah. And
So you've
I'm
been
like,
voluntold to be the
I had been
Messiah.
voluntold, and I was like, okay, I don't know what this entails. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'll go along with it. And then at the start, before the episode started filming, Rena took everyone else except me aside into another room, and they sat in there for like half an hour, and I was like, I'm really nervous right now.
It was so
Like,
long. It was ages.
I was being plotted against, and I was like, oh god, like I just knew. I was like, something's gonna happen.
So
I hate
surprising
this.
as historically being the Messiah works out perfectly. Why am I so
Yeah.
concerned?
I
Yeah.
know, right?
Not a fraught title I've ever heard.
Yeah. But yeah, we discovered very quickly that Jax's house was in fact abandoned because it was no longer private property, because Jen has the folkloric bane that they can't cross thresholds without permission,
Right.
and if it's private property, they need permission.
So I walked right
So
in.
that was fun, and then we actually got our asses to the salt mine, and everything went to shit.
Yeah. Oh, on the way, Charlie and Delilah had a little chat about what blood bonding means.
That conversation was really cool to listen to.
That was
yeah.
a beautiful moment. Yeah.
Bonding about blood bonding.
You know, because like she was like, "Can I want to learn some of the things you do. Can I drink your blood?" And I was like, I don't think you know what that means. Like, yeah, you can learn obfuscated blood sorcery by doing that, but also, like, I am the captain now.
You should have had the conversation after the blood was tasted and be like, see, now that you know this, here's the issue.
Yeah.
Didn't Rena also say, well, you're already blood bonded to somebody else?
Yes, which I didn't know.
Dun dun dun.
But I think also it was fun watching Izzy during that thing, because I got to see her as Delilah sort of clock that maybe that she's like, wait a minute. That's what can I have bad feelings about that? I don't know.
But yeah, I enjoyed because I sat in on the Bahari episode as well before I actually joined in, and watching like how we went through, like, you know, Jen took off everyone's belts and like lashed all our belts together so that we could make like a rope of sorts, and then watching it happen in the Bahari episode, watching them lose an arm. Like, whoopsie.
Well,
You know, the Vampire Adventurers kits don't come with 50 feet of hempen ropes.
No.
That's what we
surprisingly,
No,
the
which
Second
is
Inquisition
bullshit.
does. The Second
We
Inquisition
planned
does have that.
Yeah.
don't.
They got the Shibari rope.
Well, as we learned, it didn't
Fair.
matter.
They got the nice rope.
But yeah, the whole Camarilla episode, they actually went through the trial like without asking for help from anyone, so to speak. It's just like all five of you rather. It's just all five of you without any other NPCs.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
I don't know.
We
because
didn't really.
Other than Nora, I don't know who we were
Nora
going to
is,
ask.
yeah.
their resident mage is a fucking bitch.
Yeah, it's just, yeah,
No kidding.
our-
So they didn't have a mage on their side.
yeah, so
They
not like we
technically
could-
had 9.
Oh, look, Nine's
We're not going to
involvement
talk about 9.
was throwing Maxie in and out of a car.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
It's also like we didn't have a way to contact her either because our phones weren't working.
Yeah, we walked into a meat grinder unsuspecting lambs and
Mhm.
got ground.
Yeah. Well, you guys got ground.
Yeah, like,
You literally got ground.
Yeah.
Buried
Did you-
alive.
Oh
Did
my
you try
God.
saying Nine's name 3 times?
And turning in a circle.
Oh my God. Then 27 would show up.
Ugh. I feel like that's worse. So much
Yep.
worse. It was honestly like it was really fun from my perspective. Like, I really enjoy having my characters go through like emotional trauma like that. So, or I often enjoy inflicting it on other people. And a lot of my other LARPs that I've been in and tabletops, I've made other people cry because my character's gotten hurt. So it was kind of fun to have it turned on me in a weird way. But it was really fun to be like so taken by surprise. Like, the others clearly knew what was going on to some degree. And so it was really fun to be like so taken by surprise by that.
Yeah,
You're-
there was a moment with the Camarilla, I think, when I said the words like you know what it means, and
Mhm.
everyone just went quiet. And you can see I can see like people who were sitting in the backstage, the ones doing all the technical stuff, all of them all at the same time lean forward.
Like,
Like because all of
Come
them were
again?
like just like like lying down, just chilling, and out of nowhere they're just like what.
Ears perked.
I will say as well, Hollow, in that moment with Jen just absolutely having a breakdown, seeing every single one of their friends just leave.
Yep.
That's what killed me. That oh my god, you're just a fantastic role player in that sense. It just completely absorbed into the moment.
I get very absorbed in my characters, so like they kind of take over my brain in session. Which is why I was like, by the end of it, like by the time they started giving all their speeches, I was crying real fucking tears. Like there's a moment where you can't quite hear it in the actual recording, because I think I was like, I had my head down, so I wasn't quite facing the mic. And Maxie said, you were enough. And I actually went like just fully sobbed. And yeah, I took a photo of it afterwards, but I had like these massive mascara tracks like all the way down my face because I was just an absolute fucking wreck.
Not gonna lie, because it's been a few months since we recorded this, and I forgot like how emotionally traumatic it was. And I was editing the TikTok video for the teaser of this whole thing. And I was just like, the one that broke me is when Charlie was talking to Jen, and Charlie said, "Because you're the only one who can," and I'm just like, no.
So true though. That's why we all agreed right away. Like I can't remember if it was Kai who suggested it first or something. It was like, oh, it's got to be Jen, and then immediately Izzy and I were like, well, yeah, obviously. Like, whom else do we believe is the moral center of this project, or like the glue?
I really like this. Like, it happened to be by pure coincidence. In that episode, I had my first Beast or Fail, where I could have taken a stain.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I was like, oh, fuck it. Like, we're in the last episode, you know, I'm just going to lose an advantage dot. Like, I don't need that. Like, what use is that going to be to me in this second last episode?
Yeah.
So, like, I could have taken a stain and ruined the whole fucking thing.
What would have happened? I don't even know.
Nora would have been the one to walk
Yeah, it would have had to
through.
have been Nora.
And it means
Yeah.
that
God.
all of the point of views would have been each of you.
Yeah.
So I had that plan because Nora's the only human who hadn't gotten a stain. At that point, everyone's just taking stains left and right. And Hollow didn't. You chose that moment to not take the stain, and I was just like, "Oh, this will make this even better."
Yeah.
Yep. And
It
it
was
was purely because it was the second last episode. I was like, I don't need this anymore. Who cares?
Yeah. The hardest exchange for me, I think, was when right at the end, when it was just you and I, and I think I said something like this isn't what you deserve, and you were just like, very reasonably, then why are you doing it to me?
Yes.
I was like, I have no answer for
Heartbreaking.
that. I have no real answer for that.
So many levels of pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just also like, you know, Charlie and Jen have known each other for the longest, and like just like Jen was just so gutted about Charlie in particular. Like Maxie, they're gutted by, because they were really trusting Maxie. Maxie was getting better, and they were promising to do better, and that they were gonna like trust their coterie, and they were very, very fond of Delilah. But they've only known her for a week, and they're like, I love her. She's like my baby, but like Charlie is like my friend. Like we know each other, and then having that betrayal come from Charlie as well is just like, ugh, so bad.
And it was like, we decided as well when we were having that half hour to leave you stressing. We agonized over the order of like who goes where when, because we didn't know we'd lose our discipline access as well. So we were like trying to game out like what happens if you cotton on to this and try to stop us. We're like, okay, who? And like I ended up going last, because we knew each other the longest, but also just because, all right, if someone has to be fast and get in Jen's way, while the others go through their doors. It'll have to be me, but it was so
Yeah.
different than we expected, obviously.
Oh, so you guys got a heads up of what was going to happen, did you?
Uh,
That's lovely.
I'm glad
No,
that
we-
sounded like I knew what was going to happen.
They had half an hour to like plot, and they like Rena told them to write. I think so. I don't know exactly what happened, but I'm assuming like Rena told you to write messages and
Yeah, like if you have
Like-
last words or something to.
I explained to them that okay, so you guys will be the sacrifice. First of all, and then I want you to write your last messages as if you are suffering through the trial.
Right. That makes a lot more sense now. I was like, wow, you guys just riffed off an idea of saying a last goodbye. Good work. But now I know you have
Improv.
prep. It's not quite so
the
awesome.
last goodbyes were prepped, but like everything else. Was
Everything
pretty-
else was not.
Although
Yeah.
to be fair,
Yeah.
Rena, when you came in and said that to us, I like just started writing.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, I know exactly what Charlie has to say to Jen about this.
So
Because it's
cruel.
like especially I didn't want them to know that they would lose their disciplines because it'll take away the genuine reaction of everyone going like what.
Mhm.
Especially Adam all wide-eyed like what happened.
I was like, you've just changed everything.
Wait. This is terrible.
But that made everything like genuine, like the reactions, how everyone is trying to so around the topic, so to speak. Like I know Izzy playing as Delilah is trying specifically not to lie because it means that she'd have to roll to lie.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I've had a great time in the car just refusing to insight check her. She even, as Izzy just turned and was like, no one gonna
No, we're
check
not
me
gonna
on
check
that. I was like, you've given me no reason to suspect you of anything. You're just a sad, scared little fledgling that we're trying to keep alive. And we're like, I was
just a
like, Charlie feels
baby.
so guilty. Like we just keep failing Delilah over and over. Of course, I don't feel suspicious of her.
She's already got friends that she's texting in the car. How cute. Good for her.
Yeah. But also, like, Charlie's the last person to like know what people do with their phones. Like,
Yeah,
Mm.
Charlie doesn't
No
have
idea.
any phones.
yeah. Like, well, she's finally got one, so that's good. The whole
It's
thing.
fine. Like he's used to Jen just like living exclusively on their phone, but always
Yeah.
checked in complete random strangers that they found via a special app.
Yeah, I'm like, well, people must like them. They're always using them. I don't know. I don't get it. Fine.
Oh god, what's the most like what is the moment that actually made people go like no or cry? Like the moment that broke everyone.
I always start like when I was rewatching the episodes, I would start tearing up at when the speeches happened, but that's when I like walking up those stairs by myself. I was already pretty heartbroken, like in like the actual game, but just it's the speeches that really get me.
Yeah, same. It's all pretty emotional, and well, I don't cry, so yeah, that's the thing.
Mhm.
But the speeches towards the end was like, oof, ouch, stab me in the back, stab me in the heart. Just yep, fine, cool. We're doing this now.
Quite a
Yeah.
phrase choice you just chose there.
I know, I
Interesting
know.
choice of phrase there.
Yep.
For me, I think I had been tearing up across the entire episode knowing that something bad was going to happen. And it was the moment that, because I think it was Delilah that went through first. Delilah,
Yeah.
turned around and just said, like, I can't remember the wording.
Smile
But-
at everyone.
Yeah, the smile and then just the backing into through the doorway. I was like, oh no.
Wait,
I realized what was happening and I'm like, no, they're gonna leave Jen all alone.
again.
Again, yeah. But the
Abandoning me
speeches,
again.
I had like recovered myself. I think I took like a 10-minute break to just like regroup, then came back into the speeches. I was like, oh, it's all over now.
Wait.
It's a second pin drop.
I think I actually have a picture because I knew it was going to be really emotional. I took a picture of myself before the episode and then immediately afterwards. And I think I've only shared it with Melissa because I look
I
like a
need to see
man.
these photos.
I'll make sure to send it to you then.
I think we sat around after the recording. I can't remember. I think we did a double on this. Did we do? I don't remember if we
No.
did 6 and
No,
7. No, we
no.
didn't. That's right.
Oh.
That's right. Why do I feel
it?
like
Yeah,
we did?
we did
No,
6
it
and
was-
7.
6 and 7. We just
Yeah,
didn't
we
do
did 6
7
and
and
7.
8 the way the Inquisition
no.
did.
Yeah.
That's its own beast. But no, we sat there until like 9 or something in the studio, just like
Mhm.
It's like-
staring.
The thing that made me really emotional is seeing everyone just stand up and break down
Oh,
and
the
hug each
hug.
other at the end.
That was a good hug. Like that was
So
a
good.
solid hug right at the end there. I needed that.
Everyone made it like really emotional too. I guess this wouldn't have been as emotional as I would have expected it if all of us didn't have like a chance to become like friends and stuff
Mm.
through the games. Because if this started and then we're only like meeting once a week or like something for the games, we wouldn't have started like the actual bond. Because I feel like there's a bit of character bleed there.
Nah,
Yeah.
that'd never happen in a vampire game.
Mhm.
Well, it was that-
Character
a bit of
bleed
that
in a
thing.
World of Darkness game?
No.
But it was something I thought about just because, especially because of COVID and the delays, and like, because so we've known each other as people for so much longer than our characters have. And I do think that's sort of what comes up through. It's like these things are hitting way harder for us as friends than they are,
Yeah.
like, than you might expect between these
Mm.
people who've known each other 7 days. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a good thing. I'd rather
My
have that
excuse
than
is
the
that
other way
Jen
around.
just gets very attached very quickly.
Yeah.
We didn't notice. Not at all. No.
I also for Delilah I would understand because Delilah's like a baby. You guys are the only thing she knows. For Maxie, you guys are the only people they can trust aside from Nora. And it took the whole season, and then the same season, the same episode, they decided to trust you guys. Is the same same episode that they just decided like, yep, I am gonna do what I do best. Betrayed.
Without getting
Nice,
into too much
Jen.
spoilery territory for like following episode and season, like I think that just really emphasizes how bad it is for Maxie outside of this. Like, how bad's it gotta
Yeah.
be? Like, you really do want to cling that hard, that fast to this group of relative strangers.
Yeah.
More on that soon.
More on
More on
that
that.
soon. God, episode 8's gonna be spicy.
I'm so nervous.
Oh,
So
the group chat after episode 7 finished, absolutely wild. 'Cause
Oh,
we had no
yeah.
idea what was coming. The head crafting, the head cannoning rather.
Yeah.
I've already got some theories at the end of all of the episode 7s that I've been just milling on.
Love that.
All right. Should we move on to the second Inquisition that took forever just to record?
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago, wasn't it?
That was 2 weeks. It took me like I had to rush editing just to get that episode out on time.
And it was amazingly edited. I love the pitch black intro. It was so good.
Yes.
I was like, oh, what's going on? Oh, they're saying that.
Yes. I saw it and I'm like, oh no, do we let Rena know? Oh no, it's okay. Cool. All right. I'm guessing that was supposed to be like that. Cool.
So
Little freak
dramatic.
out.
Yes.
Super drum. That was actually Joel's idea. Joel was just like, let's just have everything pitch black. Like, okay, makes easier for me. Yay.
Let the audience see what Trist sees through Trist's eyes. Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Meanwhile, people are like, "Is this just a podcast now? Have we?
Yeah, exactly
we
right.
changed?
Second Inquisition of we've modernized. We're just a podcast. We're just gonna start
Yeah.
talking about how to kill vampires and hope people pick it up.
I'm pretty sure podcast is the collective noun for a group of Inquisition agents."
Exactly right.
Ah,
A
I see.
podcast of Inquisitors. I like it.
Mm.
Yeah.
I can see
Someone
that.
write that down. Someone write that down.
Somebody send that to the Inquisition headquarters.
I'll take note of it.
All right. Anybody want to do the overview?
Oh, well, I was there, so I'm happy to do it. We finally completed our mission that we were given, literally episode 1 of getting into the salt mine. Almost immediately in the darkness, Talon was gone, which realistically, like, should have probably triggered some bells in character because there's no way he would have walked off without immediately, like, rubbing in our face, I'm going to go do this myself, because I'm going to succeed.
Totally out of character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly right. Of course. No, yeah, Patters would have just made sure he mentioned it. The scary thing I think about that episode was because we like to a degree knew what we were walking into, in that because we did the double, we did episode 7 and 8. We didn't really know how it was going to end. We just knew that later that day we were recording episode 8, so that there was going to be some changes. I can absolutely say with full confidence we had no idea how it was going to end, and consistently things happened. It was just what's happening? Even up until the very, very end. I haven't watched I didn't watch the Bahari and the Camarilla episode until after we'd filmed. There was no walking through the door. There was no Trist, you are becoming the Messiah. It was quite literally look over there, yeet, and get kicked with Messiah power. Because
Yeah, Lou was like, I Sparta kick you in the hole.
Yeah. What?
Now you have to explain what happened beforehand.
Of
Joel.
course. I'll
Yeah,
work my way
what did
through it.
happen? What did
Tell me
happen?
that.
But so while we were down there, we finally found the purpose of the Shibari rope from the episode before, which we had wondered quite a bit. Why is this here? Why do they have this in here? But obviously they prepared earlier.
It was the arbiter of things. I had nothing to do with it.
Well, I
Jeff
think the
was
arbiter
very
just prepared
disappointed
earlier.
in how we used it.
Yeah, there could have been better use, but yeah, we each person. Well, we of course we met Mr. Locke, who was in the cave and having a heart attack, which also probably should have tipped us off, because meeting Mr. Locke immediately, you can be like, wow, you are an extremely competent and useful member of the Inquisition. They are far and far between as we've encountered lately, and you seem very scared. We should probably be more scared than we are. But we didn't get to spend that long meeting.
That intro though, the choking was so good.
It was
being
too
introduced
good.
as a character like that. Imagine, it's such a good performance too.
Yeah, I asked Kat beforehand, can you choke? And then Joel was making fun of that, choking, and I'm like, aha!
Your
Way to
turn.
ask.
File that under casting calls to remember.
Yeah, bad. So, but yeah, then that was especially just having such a new character join in. It was really interesting to sort of have a chance to play through meeting someone new in such extreme circumstance. And again, you're kind of do I trust you? Do I not? But the Inquisition group, we distrust everybody. But we're very, very soon, each of us were separated, and we encountered, which, as some people may not know, so the Inquisition group we filmed on the Sunday. We all went out for breakfast with Lou and Rena on the Saturday. And on the Saturday, we're sitting there having breakfast, and Lou's asking questions like things in Australia are so scary. Is there something you're scared of? And I'm like, oh, not really on land. I'm like, I don't really like sharks. Actually, I went deep sea fishing once, and encountered a shark, and that's kind of stayed with me.
Side
Okay,
eye.
that's
Side
cool.
eye.
Yeah. Next morning, I'm just like, oh, okay. I see where this was going.
Note to everyone, a casual conversation in quotation marks with either Lou or Rena is never just a casual conversation.
Anyone asking for a list of your worst fears is not being casual.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. This just thought that very much said I shouldn't have said that. Just waking up the next morning and having that. Oh, that was probably a really bad idea.
Yeah,
Shouldn't have
it
said
didn't even
that.
occur to me. I was just like, oh yeah, this because we were just discussing weird things in Australia. As I mentioned during the game, and I've maintained to a few people who I've spoken to about it, that I still think Triss got the raw end of the deal, seeing as UA's fear was multiple The Last of Us zombies with tentacles kind of just congregating around a door. Mr. Locke's fear was casual exercise down a hallway. And, and Triss gets chucked into a drowning with a giant shark with tentacles.
Can we discuss what happened before the shark appeared? Because I think that's a very
Some context.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
sorry, I'm jumbling things around. Because I'm trying to remember, but it's because of episode 8 as well, and I'm rewatching both the Camarilla and the Bahari episode 7s. It's very just like, oh wow. You're entirely right. We after we found out that we were in the labyrinth and it was alive, we all, everyone had the same idea. Clearly, only one group lost an arm, but that's a different story. Of linking
Nailed it.
together and trying to stay together didn't entirely work. And while each of us investigated, finding different things, before the shark, especially for Trist, we found we found a lot of iconography and artifacts, such as the branch. That is very just kind of like, what is this? And because I hadn't really watched, I intentionally chosen not to watch any of the other group's episodes unless it was for a recap. I only had a vague idea. I was just like, I know there's been a tree mentioned. I'm like, and now I'm looking at a magical branch. I'm like, this seems very sus.
Yeah, there's also sun and moon iconography, right? Over some doors. Very important to note.
Alice in Wonderland as well.
Yeah.
She was not in Wonderland. I can tell you that much.
Joel, you're forgetting a little bit of detail before the
Am I?
shark. Yeah.
Which part? I'm sorry. It was a very emotionally draining time for me. So the timeline that things happened might be a bit jumbled, because for me it was just a constant like kick in the guts.
Talking about how the mages became split. Is this what you wanted to talk about?
Oh no, that was like.
Okay, because that was also mentioned before they.
Oh, was it? I thought that was after at the tree.
But there's more details about it later in the episode.
This is the Jeff reveal.
No. This is like before that. Lou, care to explain?
So like when we went to the when we grabbed the branch, when we went to the room with the branch, right? And Trist's fear just began to spawn. Didn't Trist pee himself while he was like underwater or something?
That's when he saw the shark.
Yeah, and directly below him was Jeff just
yeah,
kinda
we can
sinking to the
cover. We
bottom.
can, if that's the part you want to cover, I'm happy to cover that.
Just gotta put that out there that Jeff had his first golden shower. From Trist.
I
So-
just
Say that like it's not his last.
I just want to make a note of, he wasn't upset that he had the golden shower. He was
This was
upset
for me.
that it wasn't
It was
9.
from Trist.
Yes.
So the reason I asked that was I was trying to figure out. I was like, all right, sharks don't really appear in cold water like that often. So when I went to ask, is the water warm? That's where I was going. But I was kind of like, all right, well, now that I say that, I'm like, let's be honest, it probably is warm because I'm screaming, peeing myself in terror. And that's where that went. I still maintained from the description of the chamber, like the percentage of water to pee, like, would have been so minute. But it is still an item, especially
there
if
is
you're
a
mate.
tolerable ratio for human beings.
Yeah, when the percentage of people to
An
shark
enjoyable amount.
is like 33% on the shark side, the amount of pee to water, like the scale tips more. Like the acceptable amount of pee increases. There is a
This is
direct
an entire
correlation of
fucking
shark to
conversation
pee.
that we are actually having right now.
Can we like not?
We're a serious series,
serious group.
everyone.
A
we-
good time.
This is serious.
We cover serious topics like pee
Yeah,
and
what
the
is that?
quantity of it.
All right. I
Toilet
also
humor.
maintain
Listen,
that
this
when
was
we encountered
Jeff's,
the mud creatures, Dr. Yue also mentioned was like, tentacles and Shibari rope BT dubs. I didn't start this train. I only got on after Yue sent it going. But yes, that did happen. You're very right. I conveniently forgot that part. I don't know how it possibly slipped my mind.
Repressed.
No one will ever forget it ever again.
Listen,
Yeah.
because of the the golden shower, I think that's what awakened, Jeff's true powers, and that's how he kills the shark.
Sure.
That's why he didn't want to explain it.
So that's the Jeff's awakening, Jeff's ascension.
Because, we found out that, surprise, Jeff's a mage.
Yes, exactly right. I'm really happy he is. I was a bit too stunned to fully grasp it at the time, in character. But yes, Jeff thankfully saved me. And that also, while phenomenal that Trist was saved from the shark, also then just kind of restarted the Stockholm Syndrome scenario of, oh, okay, thanks, Jeff. You just, saved me with your magical powers from the giant shark, my worst terror. That's really nice. And then Jeff's just like, oh yeah, like, Seven's pulling all these shenanigans. There's 3 of them. And so Trist in character starts being like, oh, okay, great. Like, so Seven is evil. Seven is like torturing us with all of this. Seven has brought us here as her playthings. Terrific.
Seven did nothing wrong.
Well, Seven created the place. And while as split in 3, yes, but like Trist doesn't in character understand the full grasp of what that means. Just to him, it's like, cool. Like, it's yet another person that I've been helping out who's here just being like, oh, by the way, my actual ultimate plan is probably going to end up with you dying, but I'd like to continue to use your talents until then. And so he's like, all right, well, at least Jeff seems cool. Jeff's got magical powers. Jeff saved me. Finally, I've met someone that's nice to me. That sounds cool. I'm going to latch on to you in a very similar sort of nice style. Everyone had their unique adventures. Dr. Yue had to face her worst fear being her own demon, which was really, really cool to see.
Oh, Dr. Yue also had the the thing with the tablet.
Yeah.
Can I lift the stone tablet?
You can only just crush a can.
One strength. One strength.
I reckon she could have. I have faith.
One of the best moments that came out of that was obviously she wasn't fully familiar with Alice in Wonderland. So it was terrific for Evie because she didn't fully get it. So Evie's there being like, we're all there listening to the like, oh, the white rabbit. Okay, cool, we get this. And Evie's just like, what is this? Is this what am I dealing with?
For a very important date.
Because I haven't actually watched our episode yet, because again, I wanted to wait until after this and after I could hear everyone else's thoughts so I can look for anything I may have missed. Evie turns to us and goes, as long as this doesn't relate to my worst fear, because my worst fear is for Dr. Yue to look stupid. And so we're just like, Rena once again inadvertently triggering people's fears. So that was a nice, cute moment, I thought.
Evie didn't know what Alice in Wonderland is, so for Evie to keep on saying, as Dr. Yue going, I'm late for a very important date. I'm late for a very important
I don't have a date. What is this? Will, I'm not late for anything. It was pretty terrific. So I really enjoyed getting to see that. I also think, again, Mr. Locke showing like the fear of not ever really achieving your goals and like chasing after this far-flung sort of idea that you're never going to reach was played phenomenally. I mean, that's out of character Joel. In character, Trist would have been playing a tiny violin, being like, boo-hoo, sounds terrible the whole way. But out of character, I thought it was phenomenal and really well done.
Especially
cinematic parallels.
Sorry?
Yeah, cinematic parallels, right? Of going for a big old walk after Winters also went for a little walk.
Yeah, exactly right. The fear of cardio runs deep in the Inquisition.
Yep. But yeah, they actually found, because Mr. Locke was very stressed and asked Seven to find a shortcut, a way out, and the shortcut is conveniently through Dasha's library.
Memory Palace, yeah.
Memory Palace. But Seven had to wait until Dasha is through and like pass through, because there can only be like certain amount of people at a time in there, so they cannot meet. So pushing Dasha through and then Mr. Locke after, so you guys barely missed each other.
Yeah,
in a sense.
I was hoping that's where Seven was going to take me. I was like, well, Seven's only met one other person in the other episode. And I really love your description of like, this thing is alive, so we have to kind of go through it in small numbers to keep it from waking up. I loved that so much. I was like, oh, amazing. And then Jeff's like, I'm blasting all the walls down. Let's all go through as a group.
So anyway, I started
blasting. Exactly. Yeah.
I started blasting.
So dumb.
And that's it, like, after watching the Bahari episode and seeing like, oh, that makes a lot more sense. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Because at the time, the only perspective I've got is a mage saying to me, oh, but the tiny mage you've been looking after, her plan is probably going to end up with you, like, getting sacrificed. It's like, oh, is she here to help me? No. She's off helping someone else. Oh, cool. Great. Sounds
So much-
terrific.
7 did nothing wrong.
So much
Oh,
for all those
shut up.
nuggies.
Yeah, exactly right. The nuggies were wasted.
I want that
the
on a
nuggies.
t-shirt. Just 7 did nothing wrong.
That is a lie. But yes, we the power of the branch also kind of. That was also very interesting to see, and seeing the effect it had, and it's really cool, I think, as well. Like for the NPCs, such as the NPC characters, the way that they changed throughout the game as it was played, it made the whole story feel very organic, because it's not a case of like things only happen when we're viewing them, so much as there's things constantly going on around us, and there's things that just they may not make full sense to us at the time, or at any point really if they needed to, but that's just part of life. It's not like every car you walk past has a person driving it that you recognize and every advert relates to you. It's just things happening and being like, oh yeah, like I've seen that before.
Yeah, it makes the world feel a lot more real, and we're just a part of it. This tiny, tiny, microscopic element of the whole thing that's going on.
Which so it was really, really cool to see that it was the most overtly supernatural episode we had by far. So it was very, very different. I think as well, part of knowing not how it was going to end, but having an idea of like, all right, something's going to happen. We were all very on edge, because it was kind of like, when's it going to happen? Like, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? It's like knowing that an actor has left a show at the end of the episode, and they're like, oh yeah, that character dies. And then like, you're getting up to the last 5 minutes. You're like, they're still here. When is it going to like, what is possibly going to happen? And so we all met up again, which was terrific. And when we all reached the tree, a lot of, again, like part of what I was trying to portray, at least with Trist, is that like every single person, with the knowledge of 7 being not exactly on the level with Trist, to him it's like every single person I have encountered has screwed me over. Like Talon, Yue, Winters, Carol, like 7 now, like every single person sucks, but we at least have proof that Jeff has actively gone out of his way to help Trist. So Trist is like, whatever, man, I'm on your side, I'm with you. So when Jeff is like, let's eat the tree, like Trist is like, sweet, call me Littlefoot, tree stars for days, I don't care, I'm going for it. Like, you say eat the tree, I am chowing down. Which is why that, sorry?
I was going to mention that just before getting to the tree, the part of everyone sort of meeting up in the library as well, and Dr. Yue getting curious about some of the books, and then finding one of her own memories was a super cool, I think, moment, because Yue has seemed very collected the entire series so far, and the memory being of her just like covered in viscera was like, oh. And it was before, she was a Quajian. It was kind of like oh man.
What happened here?
Yeah. And how did Dasha get it?
Yeah. I love it. I love that we have a human Dr. Yue stabby memory.
Why is everyone getting stabbed? Something Evie did really well, I thought, like one of the biggest standouts of the whole chronicle to me was when she had her monkey Poe come out, and she had to act that out. And just to have it be such a big difference of how she was before, like I was like, this is crazy to watch, because she was asking questions sometimes. I was like, is this an in-character question? Like, are you still like acting like like this, or are you asking a genuine question and you're really like frustrated by it? I don't know. And so seeing like Yue experience memories of that Yue didn't even have was really, really cool. And that the whole library concept, I was like, oh man, like. If this was episode 1, we would have been even more delayed, because Triss would have been like, all right, I'm setting up camp here. We're not leaving. This is terrific. This is the dream. But that was also very interesting to watch as well. Now that I've seen the Bahari episode, seeing 7 take this calculated, like, we need to progressively do the shift around. And trust me, I know how to do it. Whereas Jeff just like kick the door in and just be like, yep, like next door.
Jeff just Kool-Aid Manning the whole thing.
Yeah,
That was what he was
doing. The whole way through.
It's like, I don't care if we wake up this thing. We're just gonna kick every door down.
But that's the sort of thing as well. Like, as playing a mortal character, that's sort of Trist's one as well. Trist's like, you know what, I don't care. Wake it up. Just wake it up when I'm not here. I don't care anymore. Like, the whole, like, no one's going to come to me and tell me the supernatural ramifications. I'm like, I don't care. I don't think in terms of centuries. If in 90 years it wakes up and destroys the world, don't care. I won't be here. So I had no idea. When we were eating the tree, I was sitting there kind of being like, I have no idea the ramifications of what I'm doing. Like, they're probably very large, especially Seven being like, there's a lot of large ramifications for what you're doing. But at this point, like, he's like, the only person he's really listening to is Jeff, and he's just like, okay, man, like, you saved me from the shark, you're telling me to eat it, I'm eating it. And it was also the sort of the first moment I think that Yue and Trist had very different views on an action. So, which was cool and fun to act out. What I was not expecting was so suddenly, I was like, all right, how are we possibly going to stop 9 coming? Like, what? Because we hadn't actually encountered really the mages at like full angry level. So
It was 8.
Oh, it was 8. Sorry,
It's
not 9,
8.
of course. Sorry, no, 9's in the one hanging out with Maxie.
Yeah,
yeah, sorry.
Joel. Joel, the thing that made you do the thing that made me laugh so hard is you going. So what would happen if we kick her
Kicked
into
her
the
in the
hole?
void.
Into
Well, that
the
was what my
void?
plan was. I was kind of like, all right, how are we possibly going to beat her? What is this? And they're like, that's the infinite void. Oh, well, that's convenient to have. Like, we have an infinite threat. Let's chuck the infinite threat into the infinite void and then go out for nuggies after. Job done. So I'm already, like, as a player, being like, okay, how are we possibly going to do this? So I'm thinking, like, all right, we're going to have to draw her in. So I'm like, yeah, all right, will she survive being down there? And they're like, no, that's not for her. And so I immediately was kind of like, oh, okay, it must be meant for Seven then.
No,
like,
no.
Seven's
The
going
thing,
in.
the thing you ask is like, who's it meant for?
Yeah, because that's why I was just like, oh, like, but like in my head, I was like, all right, this must be meant for Seven. I was like, who's it meant for? And then Seven's like, bye, Trist. And I was like, oh, it is meant for Seven. Excellent. And then it's like, you get kicked in the hole. What?
This hole was meant for me.
What do you
Wait a
mean?
minute, yeah.
Like,
There
what do you
was-
mean I get kicked in the hole?
There was like a 1 second where Lou and I like locked eyes, and then I turned to Joel and went like, "Bye, Trist."
Like, and to be honest, I thought it was absolutely perfect because that just completes the cycle that unequivocally every single person that Trist encountered in his chronicle fucked him over. Every single person, with the exception of the moderator and the arbiter,
Thank you.
screwed him. Sorry, I was just like, all right, I'm trying to think of like, I was like, no, you did. You guys helped me out. So that's why, like, the Stockholm syndrome is real. Just because he's like, all right, finally, at least Jeff has saved me. Thank you. Like, I'll help you out. And that's just like, wrong, kick. It's like, oh. And that's why I was like, you know what, like, this is probably the best case. Trist is like, you know what, I'm finally free of all you people. Like, just let the void take me. Like, I'm done. I'm out. And even then, still, it didn't happen. But then we got to see, like, Yue and Locke gearing up for this massive fight with Seven. And again, I'm just watching being like, what the hell is possibly going to happen the whole time? Yeah, it was terrific. It was terrific to watch. It was really fun to be a part of. But rewatching it as well, I'm just the whole time I'm just like, yeah, you can like, it's like that moment of Ralph Wiggum in The Simpsons. Like, if you slow it down frame by frame, you can see when he gets Sparta kicked the second his heart breaks. Like, yep, that's
Also-
about right.
Yeah, also like Yue, Dr. Yue, and I think the thing that made me my heart break during that session is Dr. Yue and Mr. Locke still thinks that there's a chance that they could escape. They still had that hope that they would be able to escape. But then the moment Trist and Jeff goes through the void, that's when it sank within them that, oh, this is our last stand. And I got the really nice shot of Dr. Yue flipping her hair and going, well, it's a fight to the death then. And Mr.
Is
Locke
that the one that
being-
you?
Yeah.
Sorry, is that the one you turned into a GIF?
Yeah.
You can find the GIF at UAVTM. For anyone wondering.
It's so good because and Mr. Locke is just like, you can see that there's a whole lot of regrets, like things that they still haven't finished. Dr. Yue also has a lot of regrets, like things they wanted to do, but for the good of humanity, they decided to stay and, well, fight this evil just to give enough time, just distract this evil enough time for Trist and Jeff to escape. And they don't even know whether or not Trist and Jeff escape. They're just fighting, which is the very core of Second Inquisition.
It was, I think, really a testament to Kat's role playing that Mr. Locke, in such a short period of time, we experienced that character, but like you immediately cared about their goals, what they want. Like you wanted them to have a happy ending, as opposed to a lot of the other people we encountered, where it's like, you're probably terrible, aren't you?
So, tip for anyone who wants to join a vampire game: come in choking, make everyone love you, and look really sad and upset, and just walk a lot.
Yeah.
Rip their hearts out at the end.
I mean, it won't save you.
Cardio.
But we'll really like you when you do it.
No, but people will love you while you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly right.
I think
Yeah, it was full on. It was definitely full on. And the whole time we're playing it, we're all just like, we have another episode to film after this. How
The
are we
pace
going to
was
do it?
relentless. I was watching it, and I normally watch from where to go in one sitting, but for this one, for the SI, I actually had to pause and get up and like walk around, go have a water and stuff like that. It's
same
like,
actually.
this is just full on.
I think
Yeah, there was no rest for each character was going through it.
one part that made me really sort of sad towards the very, very end with Yue and Mr. Locke, you know, having that last stand, is that Trist didn't get to see that. That they deliberately stayed and sacrificed themselves, and Seven too, for him to do whatever this mysterious goal was. He didn't get to see that his teammates did that for him. I realized that afterwards. I was like, ooh, ow.
That's just the absolute kick. Yeah, it was pretty excellent, and especially after that fight, like it was good to see Yue as well, like in the face of like this is kind of still smiling and be like, okay, I guess we fight then. Like, still trying to stay upbeat for Seven and smiling.
And
Yeah.
Mr. Locke like promising Seven some nuggies when they get out there, even though they know that they're not gonna get out of there.
Yeah, there's no getting out. And I think Seven knew that as well. Like, Seven also was very aware. It's like, yeah, we're not getting out of this. You're all silly for thinking it. But, like, and that's the thing as well. Like, it was so interesting playing with an NPC like Seven who overall knows so much more than we did, but also at the same time is a child. So, like, we're all lying to her, being like, it's all going to be okay, which she knows isn't the case, but we're still lying anyway.
No, Seven.
For me especially, and like I'll wait until the Bahari episode has been explained before I discuss like the difference between watching how each of the Messiah's like moments, the difference between them all. But when, and it was a very similar thing to the P moment as well, when Trist fell down, hit the ground, and was then offered, you know, what is it you want? What the sentence I was trying to say, because I didn't even think to ask for anything, was what I went to say is like, these wounds that have been healed, I'm like, just open them up. Like, just please just let me die. Like, so I could stop dealing with all of this. But it was like, these wounds, I was like, yeah, I can give you that power to heal them. It's like that meme of the woman drinking the kombucha. Like, she drinks it and it's like, oh, that's like, hang on. Like, maybe. And it was also very scary to see Lou leave the table. It's like, all right, you know, like he's gone down into the void with me, and then come back as like slicked mohawk, like Jeremy Renner between like Hawkeye from Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War coming back. It's like, what is this? Like, who is this person I'm dealing with now?
Jeff versus the cooler Jeff.
Yeah.
Like, can we have Jeff at home? Like the Jeff at home sitting there.
Yeah, the cooler Jeff. That took a while because you guys took forever to do your recording. I had a lot of time to learn about mage lore
We did
via
have
Lou.
a lot of time. There was, yeah, it was something like, when were the Bahari and the Camarilla like episodes filmed?
December.
Like December. So yeah, we filmed this what, like 2 weeks ago, maybe a
Mhm.
little bit more.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a big gap between, and it was very difficult to be like, not to be like, what's, especially not putting anything together, being like, I hear what they're all talking about, like, oh my god, what is happening? And everyone's talking about like, oh my god, episode 7, wait for it. We all
Yeah.
cried. It's like, oh god, what is gonna happen?
I cannot imagine what you would have been going through hearing all that gossip and almost telling of stories. That would have been agony.
Yeah. I think the biggest one was, which again, like we had to do it because of just the scheduling, but not having a break between episode 7 and 8. Like we all went to lunch. It's like, all right, we've got lunch, and like Rena's with us, and we're all grabbing lunch because we're filming again because of like outside circumstances fixing the scheduling. Because yeah, like it left Rena and everyone so little time to actually edit the episode to get it out.
Yeah.
We're all just sitting there like eating our fish and chips, just like, what just happened?
They were all in shock. It
Yeah,
was
like-
just really quiet.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, it was terrific. My fiance is, well, she came to watch, and the whole time she was like, damn, you all got like, Rena called you all out and just screwed you all. It's like she nailed it, and we're all just like, yep. But yeah, it was
Yeah.
very, very fun. And it was a very different, and now that I've watched the other 2 episodes, it was a very different sort of tone to it compared to the other 2.
But I think it was a good point in the SI story for that tone shift to happen.
Absolutely. And it's good to see as well. And like that's, I think, a very key part to any sort of SI story. Like it's always a case of we know everything, we're the bad guys, and then like, you know, you realize you go up against anything other than like the most basic vampire ever, and that's like, oh god, we are so not prepared for this. Like this is where Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, and Hermione like being like, we're gonna go fight Snape. Oh, it's not a grumpy professor, it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hermione, Jeff at the end there,
Hmm.
that
The
made me
cooler
really
Jeff?
sad too. Yeah, oh, Jeff being absorbed by cooler Jeff.
Yeah.
No, he deserved it. He kicked me.
And
Kicked me down.
then Joel was super salty when Jeff winked at him before
Yeah.
he got
Leave him
absorbed.
Fuck this guy. Like, all it would have taken in character is someone to have been like, hey, let me lay down. It's like, no, I'm not telling you shit. It's like, yeah, fuck you. So, yes, we'll see. We'll see if any of those memories carry on into the future or not.
The cooler Jeff has been there since this first. Well, technically, yeah, the cooler Jeff has been there since season, like episode 1.
I
Just
was
hanging
really,
down in the pit.
I was really interested with the wording of how Cooler Jeff said things in terms of, you know, being my martyr and the implication of every god has a martyr. And that made me really start to think about, oh, okay, well, if we've got 3 of them, who's our 3 gods? And what are they doing?
It's a established thing now. Mages always come in 3s. They can't not
Yeah.
at any time.
It's canon now.
Fates.
What do you call a group of mages?
Oh,
A ball.
fuck.
Well, if a group of
Apocalypse,
anxiety.
disaster, trauma.
No, it's a hubris. It's a hubris
Yeah.
of mages.
Yeah. I mean, they are technically mages in World of Darkness is gods or are gods, depending on how high up they are.
So it's a
So-
wanker of mages.
Yeah,
A circle
pretty
jerk
much.
of mages.
an absolute
You
pantheon
heard it
of
here first,
assholes.
folks.
Come on, World of Darkness, we're doing your work for you.
Should submit
I've
this to
played
them.
mage with a group of people, and let me tell you, it is a circle jerk of
Yeah,
mages.
that's the net. Instead
Everybody
of Mage the
thinks they're the
Ascension,
hottest shit in town.
Yeah.
Werewolf
Oh,
the
yeah.
Apocalypse, Vampire the Masquerade, Mage the Circle Jerk.
I don't know. Look, not to put too fine a point on it, but I think a circle jerk sounds way more collaborative than mages are ready for.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, that's fair. We had at least 4 mages in that game that had godlike names, and I was just like, is this hubris? Because you're about to get your ass handed to you.
Yeah.
Oh god.
But yeah, favorite moments in the Second Inquisition.
Oh, I've got one that might be a little bit different. When Mr. Locke is just going, oh, so all I have to do is just keep walking. Yep, nope, I can do that. And I was like, that's the moment your heart has died. There you go. Yep, that was my favorite moment because that was like a lot of the talking was very emotional. A lot of what our main characters were being confronted with was very emotional, but that was you're here, you've been stuck here for a very long time. You've put your lot in to help these new people that have come in. And you know that this is how you go out. Yeah.
It was the "you've always been here" shining moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, my favorite moment was actually right after that. Well, after things happened with Seven and Dasha, she went back and then Mr. Locke actually realized that Seven's been standing there just watching her walk this entire time, this 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Locke just broke, like, what are you doing there? Why are you just standing there?
Yeah, do something. I did.
I did. But Dr. Yue as well with the I'm late for a very important
That was
date.
to say that was my favorite bit. It was just
So
it was so
good.
wholesome and cute with her shuffling along with Ledge.
I'm like, okay, so we have the rabbit, the white rabbit who doesn't know what she's saying. We've got literal Alice over here.
Yeah, lots of great imagery.
Good reference. Very good reference.
I have
I
two
love it.
favorites. So I really actually loved Rena's Yue impression when you had to be the demon version. And I loved Joel being like, oh, well, the real Yue wouldn't say we're on the same side. And then never actually getting to see when Yue fucking gave her life to buy him more time. It was just, yeah, that was really good. And then obviously learning that the reason why the mages were split was Jeff's causing a paradox backlash. And then also how that might have affected Jeff too. Extra cool Jeff eating other Jeff. That was a very good
Cooler
moment.
Jeff.
There's always a bigger Jeff.
Damn.
Yeah, it was very fun. To be a part of it, it was very emotionally intense. I don't think it was so much a sad moment because, especially I think between the Bahari and the Camarilla, there was this sort of unified family feeling, or at least agreeable moments. So that when there was, this ending, it was sad. It was like family splitting apart. Whereas the SI, we don't have that. We don't have this close knit thing. It was
Just
more
betrayal
just like
all the way down.
yeah, it was just a culmination. It was just like smashing your head against a wall constantly, and then eventually like the wall just breaks through and there's nothing there, and you're just like, what? Like we've gone through all of this, and yet like it's resulted in nothing there. So it was really, really good to sort of experience that sort of different moment, and all the frustration in character to come out was really, really fun and cathartic.
I would actually disagree. I'd say that with all your mistake the whole season, like all the arguing, it's a very good representation of humanity. Like you guys could argue all the time, fight all the time, but when the moment needs it, you guys would fight back.
Yeah,
That's it. You all come together to get the job done. And I mean, UA spent most of the season going, guys, playing mum, basically. But then, like a mum, when it came to it, she's like, all right, roll my sleeves up.
Yeah, there was no hesitation. It wasn't a do I have to. It was all right,
Yeah.
well, that's what we're doing. That's very true. And I do think, the analysis of it being like a representation of humanity is a good one in that it's just such internal fighting, but the second there's an external threat, it's link arms with Shibari rope and go at it head on.
At least you guys
It's
had
soft on
rope.
the skin.
We didn't lose an arm for it, so
Shut up.
like in theory, the Shibari rope has actually been the most effective piece of gear we've had the whole time. Like the other thing that put in more work than the Shibari rope was the van.
Fair.
Make note.
I need
season 2.
schematics for that van, by the way, because how big is this thing?
Yeah, it is. It's like that sort of that like when
It's a
cartoon
TARDIS-
characters reach behind
van.
themselves and just pull out whatever they need. The van
Yes.
is as big as it needs to be.
The van,
The van
TARDIS
is
van.
like a whole ass trailer van, is what
Yeah.
I was imagining.
Oh, see, I was thinking like a,
Or like a
tradies
caravan.
van.
No,
like a
it's
caravan.
big. It's big. It's real
It's
big.
big.
Until like Talon goes into the bathroom. Trist is at his computer bit, and now there's a bit underneath his
Yeah,
chair.
downstairs.
Wait, how did you get a chair in there? Oh, and Yue's got a surgery. How big is this goddamn
Well,
van?
that's the joke we
Van's
kept making
ridiculous.
because we spent so much experience points buffing the Haven up. We're like, it's the most conspicuous thing ever. Like, it's a giant black, like, it's like a school bus level. Like, it's this huge.
I'm picturing like a
thing
double-decker
that pulls
bus,
out.
like
it's a
Yeah.
double-decker bus.
or one of those like American style like home camper vans.
Yeah, with
that
like
is
4
like
bedrooms.
an RV.
This is like a
Like-
charter bus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just got
like this
visions of
thing's
Alice
got 2
standing
bedrooms
on a
at
hill
least.
at some point, going, "What's new in Alice Springs?
Giant van.
Fuck is that?"
The deep-
Oh well.
deep
Maxi
throwback.
episode, we were all laughing, being like, "What sort of car park is this? Like, how is the van? Like, where are we?"
Do y'all know the Goofy movie? The Disney
Yes.
film, the Goofy movie?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
picturing like Pete's big camper van that like has all the things that come folding out crazy
Yeah.
directions. Like that's the SI mobile
I
enforcement
imagine
unit.
it's a massive caravan, like a campus style caravan, but it has like
Yeah.
Wi-Fi repair service on the side of it or something, and it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's a bit big for Wi-Fi repair.
Jeff's
It's for, like,
humming.
Yeah, like Pete's mowing.
It's weird that a Wi-Fi repair service has
Gyms.
a jacuzzi on top, but
Yes.
like okay.
Like a giant satellite dish slowly rotating. It's like it's for the grass and the pipes.
Yes.
That's why when when 9 came and knocked on it and Tris is in there, he's like, "Who the hell is knocking on the van? Like, why would you come near this? It's like, hello." Yeah, it
the
was a-
only address is like the big van. Oh, okay, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everyone in Alice Springs knows that now.
That's why there's no cars on the road, because they're just like, keep out of its way, man. It will
Yeah.
crush you.
There was a couple. Originally, the spot under the chair was supposed to be like where Tris was going to keep like his little weapons, like just. It was going to be literally just a compartment for like a weapons box, and then just suddenly increased in size. There was an episode, I think, when 7 went to hop down there, and I was like, wait, how big is it? And then everyone was like, you fit down there. And I was like, do I?
I do.
Alright, cool. I mean, yeah, I'm on board. I didn't realize. Terrific. Yeah, I
All
love
of
that
them
van.
just made the van like really, really big at this point. I'm just like, okay.
Bro, yeah, it works.
5 Haven size for a van.
I think the Haven ended up with something like 7 dots of different things in it.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
It was
Impressive.
very buffs, but
Yeah, it was a small van. Like van about town.
yeah, anybody else's like favorite moments for the Second Inquisition?
I think my favorite moment had to be seeing everyone's like fears being real like physical things, and then seeing, Mr. Locks, who's this new character we don't know about, finding out that they are compared to, the Mr. Davis, and that their fear just seems to be like inadequacy, not being able to be enough for their team. And while it was more of an overarching moment, I think that was one of my favorites.
I think it's cool because it means that with us having physical threats, you can fight back against a physical threat. You can't fight back against just a metaphysical idea. And so, like, while we were sort of able to rebel against our own fear, or like Mr. Locke it was all about self-acceptance and dealing with it, then, like, running faster.
Kat actually almost, because she was pretending to be hyperventilating, but she told me after that she actually started to hyperventilate, and so she had to stop
Oh no.
before she passed out.
Look, fake hyperventilating is just hyperventilating. That's
Yeah.
It's a dangerous thing. When you were asking me, Rena, you were like, "Why aren't you choking?" I was like, "I am choking, like legitimately choking."
Yeah.
I started choking. I was like, "Oh," but
I'm like, why aren't
Actually
you
choking
choking? And then
doesn't look like
started choking.
actual choking doesn't look like choking. It just looks like must not show I'm choking on camera.
I think my favorite thing about that episode was, getting to be a part of the whole episode and watching Triss slowly just lose hope the entire time. It's like he finally found an ally, and then at the end, after they built this little bond there, he gets yeeted off the face of the planet.
You're a monster. You made me care. You made me love you.
The M in mage
Brutal.
stands for monster.
It's okay, man. We got a whole 20 years to spend together. in
Yeah,
the other reality.
that's true. We get to play an actual D&D Warlock Pact now.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it was very fun to be a part of. It was the first episode I haven't spent most of the time watching Rena, trying to see where she was going with it, and more just staring blankly ahead, being like, what next? What next? What next? Which is fun.
It was just a dungeon crawl for you. It's fun. But yeah, let's move on to the words.
Try again.
The Bahari.
Sophie, do you want to do the recap?
Oh my god, I wrote so many notes. Are you sure?
That's good because I wrote none, because every time I sat down to watch it, I was feeling all of the emotional damage come back and could not write. So
Yeah.
please.
You watched it with me.
I still
Take
didn't
notes
take notes,
specifically.
okay? I watched it again after we watched it together. I've watched our episode 4 times now. I've not taken any notes.
Well, if you remember things as I go through, please just jump in.
I will. I will.
I watched it on the plane. I had nothing else to do. I had no escape. I wrote lots of notes. I just really love that we actually got the full quote from The Tempest about hell is empty and all the devils are here at the very start. That was cool. That's been at the opening of all the episodes. We got the whole thing, which was nice. Yeah, we had a very different start. We were immediately turned human and the color had drained from the area. We also had a circular stone room and a tablet. And the tablet said there can be only one. Before that, Nine had given us a ring and it started to burn in Lorna's pocket. And that was a very like, okay, it sounds like now we have to decide if we're going to use this thing or not. And I do remember actually saying, I think if we brought her here, it would be a gross error, which is fun.
You're just having a solid moment of I told you so right now.
Oh my god, the best part was like after we read the tablet, there can be only one. Winters made a joke that was like, are we going to chop each other's heads off?
Yes.
A delicious act of foreshadowing.
Accidental foreshadowing.
Yeah, exactly. So we actually mentioned that maybe it means there can be only one mage, which was funny. And then we noticed the doors, we looked at all the numbers and stuff. We already had like a little bit of a preview from Jam in a previous episode about like there were 4 doors open. So we were trying to figure out why was it 4. You know, we saw 2 cars outside that we absolutely fucked up as well.
Goodbye, 7.Haven.
Yes.
So much wasted.
Yeah.
I can show you how to reconnect the alarm if you want.
But yes, so Lorna eventually put the ring on, and Nine appeared wearing this kind of white robe that we'd seen from the vision when I touched the ring originally, so that was interesting. We got this very amazing interaction between Nine and Alice being like, what the fuck, right?
What the fuck?
And Nine spills all. So yes, it is in the Fundy Labyrinth. Yeah, she was split into 3, but she's her own person now, you know? Originally she was just 1, she didn't have time, so she doesn't like actually, I like that she's like, I don't have time, which makes me think she doesn't have the magical ability to affect time, which is why she doesn't care about time. But apparently, you know, she was split 21 years ago, which was also when we opened the sarcophagus. So it turns out that wasn't really anything to do with anything because it was Jeff. Anyway, yeah, so you know, she doesn't think she can control the labyrinth anymore, and it's dangerous to humans, and that, you know, the doors are a pathway through, all that sort of stuff. The candlelight was like when someone entered. Oh, it gave us all the clues. That was great. She mentioned she wasn't high enough at Rite to open a door to another place in the labyrinth, which was cool. And that 7 was just like walking quintessence. This is all like mage terms that I've learned since, so it was very exciting. Some beautiful moments between Alice and 9 being like, if you see 8 run, I need you to do that. And then she was saying the same thing back, and we were like, please no. That was just some more foreshadowing.
Alice has left the chat to go and cry now.
Yeah. Mel's face on the Zoom right now is very sad. She said she would stay guard until we safely reach our destination. We obviously decide, we learned that this tree is like the heart, they call it the heart of Australia. Maybe it's a literal heart, like beating and keeping the labyrinth alive, maybe even the whole continent. We learned that it's a node as well, another cool mage term. But yes, so we're like, okay, we'll go through a door. We decided to all try door number 1 at once. and linked arms. We went in the same order that we entered.
Spoiler, that
yeah.
was not a great idea.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I suggested we link arms. I was the only one not to lose any arms.
In the group with probably the highest intelligence,
I
the
know.
most occult knowledge, just goes, yeah, sure, link arms, it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
why not? Go ahead.
I was watching this go down, and I'm just sitting there, just going like, no.
The thing is, I should be able to see you the way that the recording studio was set up, but because of the lighting, I can't see anything past my nose, let alone into that corner. So
Yeah.
I kept trying to look, and of course I don't have my glasses on either. So I'm like, am I getting any sneaky signal? No, I'm getting nothing. There's just light.
I was trying very hard not to make a face. I was like, but I could see as soon as you said, like we link arms and I'm going to go through the door. I was like, I didn't mean to make that face out loud.
Oh my god, I just love an excellent reaction when Alice and Lorna both lost an arm. Very good, performance all around there, amazing. Okay, then we come back and 9 is like, well, maybe the tablet means only one person at a time through the door. I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe you're right, like.
You reckon?
Yeah. So, I do remember saying to 9 that labyrinths are like maybe they're a proving ground or a filter. So if we do make it through, maybe we'll be worthy of something, which is another great accidental foreshadowing for you're not worthy later on. Yeah, okay, so then I go through a door. Everyone sees the same thing as they go through. There's like a hallway of mirrors, and then Winters. Oh my god.
Fucking Winters.
Winters.
Yeah, it was really, there was a beautiful moment actually before the cookie moment where he suggests for 9 to team up with 7 to kill 8, or at least just take 7 and leave this place and have a life and remember to feed the dogs. And she's like, I can't leave you your family. It was very beautiful. Anyway, the door didn't open, and the tablet changed to saying you're already owned. And then the click clack of Trixie's heels approached, and that was an amazing moment.
Never trust a real estate agent.
No, never.
Never.
And we learned that she was also tricked by the cookie, which was fun.
Yes.
The kid that she was mentioned that was she was taken care of in the last episode was the Fae that was like, had another one basically. So it was the one that was collecting people. Very important thing to note for future episodes is that the Fae remember things through the multiverse. This was a line that Rena said. The Fae remember things through the multiverse, and that was the reason why they basically were like, well, we can't make any deals. We just kind of have to go. 9 briefly considered giving herself in Winter's place, and he actually, showed a very selfless part of himself, and he was like, no. Even the same with like, oh, maybe I can have one of your rings, and then he was like, oh wait, no, you need those to do your job here, so no, just leave me. So that was sad and beautiful. Yeah, so stepped through into this kind of generic office space with people walking around, and yeah, that was the last we saw of him for the episode. Sad face.
R.I.P.
Yeah. And I've written the next bits of notes as like Alice's labyrinth, Lorna's labyrinth, and then Dash's labyrinth. So there's a bit of like back and forth with Alice, all in the same bit of notes. So, but I'll just do it all really quickly. Beautiful cozy cottage with a fire burning, and Samantha's there, and she's reading Frankenstein, and the Frankenstein theme comes up a number of times actually. So that was a nice little weaving through. Obviously it's a lot for Alice to take in. She's kind of playing along, knowing that it's not right, but obviously really wanting it to be real. Samantha saying Alice had been away for a few months, and it was just like an amazing performance here, like beautiful back and forth between Mel and Rena. Just incredible role playing, well done. She's like, trying to subtly check in on everything and see if it looked as she remembered it, and eventually look, we go back and forth, but later on, I'm just going to skip back because it's really heartbreaking. She's like, Samantha, why are you here? And she's like, I'm here to keep you safe until it's over. And this is right between, when the fight's happening between 8 and 9. So it's like, I'm here to keep you safe until that fight is over. And who are you? I'm just a resident of this place, which was interesting because we were told that the creatures in this place were all horrible, evil tentacle monsters. And then it's like, it's just...
I mean, Samantha might be a horrible tentacle monster. Alice might be okay with that.
The line from you being like, take her face off, you have not earned it. I wrote that down because I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was kind of proud of that one. I came up with that just like, and I was like, oh, I have a brain. I can use it. Excellent.
Oh, it was amazing. Oh my God. And I just love you. Like, no, it's my job. I keep people safe. I have to be the thing that you want most. And yeah, and then she was, well, Rena was like, you didn't keep Samantha safe, and
Yeah,
I was
thanks,
like,
Rena.
yeah, look, maybe I learned a lesson there, which was great. Anyway, and then it was like, the door's always been open to you, and then as you walked through, there was a familiar gurgling sound of someone's throat being slashed as they drown in their own blood, which was, just a very moment. So well done. That was Alice's Labyrinth Part 1. Well, it was Part 1 and 2 together, but yes, Lorna's Labyrinth was an art studio where she hears a woman crying, and like no matter how much she looked around, she couldn't find this voice. And the art installations were all made of mirrors, which was very cool for Toreador. I didn't recognize the crying voice, but every mirror showed her looking different. Like different eyes, hair, even looked like a monster, like maybe if you were a Nosferatu. And I was thinking there being like, could these be multiverse versions of her? And she was like, well, maybe they're all just showing different versions of her and the lives that she's led, which I thought was a really good comment by Tara about Lorna.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, and then again, another Frankenstein monster thing. You were like, with some mirrors, you don't even look human, like you have bits of parts like Frankenstein's monster put together. I was, brilliant. All that. So touching the mirror showed memories, and so there was just like it was like a self-interrogation. So like, why did you want a child? And like incredible explanation by Lorna. I didn't write down the whole full quote because it was just amazing, but like why she wanted it, and to like create something new in the world and make that into
see the world through multiple eyes and get different perspectives. That was just I ate that up. Yum.
Yeah, lots of great parenting themes in general. And I just love this, like, am I asking myself this, or is it just a voice that sounds like my voice asking, which was like, how can you tell? And it was like, well, look, mine's the sensible one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the ones that make me doubt myself, that's this place fucking with me, and I loved that.
Yeah.
Got it.
Everyone says such good lines, my god.
Honestly, yeah, everyone was just so good. I was sitting there going, oh, damn it. Look, another memory, which was a Cam Elysium, and feeling overlooked and ignored, and like nobody has a face. And then this line about like, did it hurt when the prince didn't even recognize you? It's like, well, we quickly learned he's a man with zero taste.
Oh, it's just yes.
So good, and then Dasha has a face, and it's like, aren't you jealous? Anyway, a fucking incredibly witty exchange when 8 shows up, and Tara is there. Oh yes, that's right. Rena's like trying to figure out where 9 is, so trying to get Lorna to give up 8. And I thought that was give 9 update. Thought it was great because it was like, okay, why are you even talking to me? And I was like, because you have the key. Like threw you across the room. So good. Yeah, I like that it was like, I can throw you into another realm, all this sort of stuff. So lots of little clues there. But of course, I think because Lorna had the ring, and then Lorna was put in physical danger and the ring activated, this is my guess, and 9 showed up. And I really like this line about like, you tell Alice and Dasha to remember I'll always be there for you because you're family, and then like push Lorna through a door. So that was really... Anyway, cut to Dasha's Labyrinth.
Ooh.
Please stop me if I'm like, yeah, I've just basically recapped the plot, but I wrote a lot of notes. So yes, I see at the end of this long hallway, I'm trying to like cheat the labyrinth by just going left the whole time. So I've got like my bleeding finger just running along the left wall to leave a little bit of a trail. And then I reach a library door from my chantry. I'm like, okay. And then inside is the library, and there's thousands of doors marked as memories. And it kind of looks like my mental domain, like my memory palace. And I guess a note is that Dasha has 9 dots in resolve and composure. So I basically was trying to roleplay just being like extremely calm and composed and logical in spite of learning some truly fucked up things about herself.
Yeah, you did so well. It was beautiful watching you at the table, and then watching back again, seeing Sophie make those "I'm sorry, what" moments, but then Dasha going, "Oh yeah, no, that's totally fine. Like I know what's going on."
Like knowing that that's so transparent, like of course inside she's like fucking screaming. She's like, oh no, this is fine. Yeah. It's fucking not. But yeah, so I go through a couple of doors. First one I see is obviously the cute one of Delilah's parents being like, we have chosen silly names. And then there was another one, and I quickly realized that none of these memories are mine. And I just do a very, I guess, not Dasha thing, and I have a bit of a tantrum and lay down in protest and just like I'm not doing any more of this until you come out. And then I see a shelf with like a single book, and it's just like, oh, my memories. The memories, and it's empty, and I'm like, oh good, of course it's empty. And then 7 appears, and now we know that this is 7 trying to clear me out of this shortcut, which I love. And I'm like, how do I get out of here? And she's like, you have to find a memory. And I'm like, fuck it, let's make one right now. So we do that, and we learn about the BTGCC Oh, dear.
I want that on a t-shirt. I want that.
Yeah, that's Shibari rope in the BTTQSDD community.
Yes.
The Bahari, slowly corrupting teens everywhere.
Hooray!
I really didn't think about like corrupting this teen. I'm like, you're an ancient mage, you're part of a big thing here. And I'm like, I don't have anything else on me. I've got my dagger. I use it daily to draw blood for myself for rituals. Let's just do it again. You know, like that's what I was thinking, honestly. So but yeah, I was like, leave a mark on me so that you'll, you know, I'll always remember you. Like, let's make this a permanent memory. But yeah, and then it was like, won't it hurt you? And it's like, memories can be painful.
That was a beautiful line as well.
Thank you. It was really interesting because everyone was like, well, I also don't really have any memories, so it was nice that we could make it together. Yeah, and this thing like maybe Dash's memories were so painful that she chose to fill her head with the memories of others instead, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds like me. Yeah, sounds like something past me would do. Yeah, and the slash showed up in the book, and then yeah, are you even Dasher at all if you're just a random collection of other people's memories? You're like Frankenstein's monster.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, and then I got guided through the next area, not before saying, you know, maybe you get to be your own person, which I say back to her, and it's very interesting because of the parallels of all the times everyone said that to Delilah through the whole thing. And then, you know, yeah, this like 9 loves you, and I was like, oh, I love her too, and you too, 7, I'll always remember you, which was nice. And
then you remember to get your dagger back.
Yes, yeah, I nearly left that with 7. Not like I used it for anything important later or anything.
No.
So then we have the 8 versus 9 epic anime battle where they're fighting swords made of light, and Alice is really trying to creep up on 8, and 9 is like, you know, spots this and is like, no, crying through tears, I'm my own person, I found my family, I'm not going to let you hurt them. Didn't even let Alice interfere a little, so she's just like instantly like shouts no and pushed her through a door that slams shut, but she can still see everything.
That's it, she's grounded.
Yeah.
She is technically grounded.
Shut up! Why would you do that again, Rena? Why? Why would you do that?
Do you reckon it was that moment in which, you know, 9 had to protect Alice that led for an opening?
Oh, absolutely.
For 8 to get her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what Alice was thinking as she was watching behind the door as well. It's like, fuck, I fucked it up again.
Yeah.
I just felt that in my chest.
Yeah.
Awesome, I fucked it up again.
And I think, yeah, Rena really took advantage of that because basically immediately after that, 8 kills 9 in front of Alice. So that gets the advantage through that distraction. And this the moment of 9 looking through and being like, sorry, don't be. And then she gets ashed as if she never existed. Brutal. And then
because, you know, ripping my heart out through my chest and making me watch as it stopped beating in front of me a couple of episodes beforehand wasn't enough. Thanks, Rena. Thank you so much.
She's such a gracious storyteller.
Yeah.
So good to us.
Alice rushes over to see if there's anything left, and in the ashes finds a ring, and she added that to a chain from beneath her shirt with another ring on it. Are you going to tell everyone what the other ring was?
Oh, what? You can't guess the fucking trope I've been playing for this entire season?
Still, I think you should tell everyone.
It's the ring that Alice was going to give Samantha the day after, well, what was going to be the day that she got killed.
Oh, so fucking tragic and so well weaved with your backstory. Anyway, that was very sad. Then you went through a door and we all met up and we tearfully reunited. You had got your arm back, but Lorna had not. We were all like, where's Winters? I think we learned that previously, I think from 9. Yeah, when 9 met up with Lorna, I think.
Lorna,
Yeah, 9 was saying to Lorna that he's gone, and then Lorna's like, where? And then with the face.
Yeah. With
And then Lorna went, the cookies.
the cookies. We all had
Clippers.
cookies. Oh my god. And then now we had 2 rings. We had hang on, I wrote these notes in a separate spot for some reason. They said Dia and Noctis on them. Yeah. And so decided that I was like, I've got an arm to spare, I'll put them both on. So it did. And then yeah, we heard Jeff, got a little call with Jeff, which also came through on the SI episode, which was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, not very helpful, Jeff, thank you.
He's doing his
Good,
best.
all good.
Is he though? Is he?
Ish.
Ish.
Hmm.
With the mental,
Just trying to have some fun, man.
Yeah, like playing with ants. So we go up some stairs and we get to the big room with the tree. And very interesting, I want to note that the SI kind of got like the mirror universe upside down tree. We had a different tree, and both times though it was like very alive and full of leaves, which is interesting because we'd only seen it sort of dead before.
Yeah.
And there were 10 statues around, and 4 of them were holding candles and burning, and like the wax is dripping blood onto the floor. And then Jen is under the tree, and that was a beautiful reveal as well. And
Sad.
yeah, obviously Jen's been there for a long time, so just seeing their state and just like the reaction of like taking all of your jewelry off was very cool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a good touch.
I'm not gonna lie, I have actually no idea why I decided to take all my jewelry off the table.
No, but you just started doing it and just kept going, but it was punctuating as you were talking. So it was just, mwah, it was beautiful.
It worked, but
Yeah.
I have, like, it was just this weird compulsion, and I was just like, take all your jewelry off, man. Like, this is shit.
I mean, there was a lot of like ring themes, so that was interesting too. A lot of
Mm.
rings to remove.
I think like, partially like my brain space was also in that just like it was Jen, like having been there for so long, they were starting to strip down like the bits of who they were, and so they
Yeah.
were, because like they were not being Jen anymore. Like
It was almost like that was the costume that the essence of Jen put on to be Jen.
yeah,
Yeah.
like a lot of what they wore before they were part of the Camarilla, they were a very different kind of person, and like who they'd kind of become while living with the Camarilla had definitely kind of become, it was a mask of safety to like fit in but also keep everybody else at bay.
Yeah. Oh, that's very cool. And you do actually mention at some point, like, I don't even really feel like a Jen anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll change that. And that's good foreshadowing too for the future.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're like, I'm a messiah. And then you explain how you have to sit there and wait so that you can turn back time and fix everything. And a really important note here is that you mentioned that in order, like, when you do this, you'll be able to turn everything back to a week ago, because that's where everything started to fuck up. And Alice goes, oh, it's been fucked up for much longer than that. And I won't say anything more about that, but keep that in mind for episode 8, because of your different impressions of how much time had been since things had been fucked up. So that was interesting. But yes, you explained that, the door told you that you were the Messiah, and then it was the crone and the story about the Lilins and the others betraying her, so that they could take the gifts, and that the gifts were torture, and that your friends ended up taking the torture essentially, so that you could be the Messiah. You had to wait for them each to spend 200 years in different...
Yeah, they are all serving their 200 years consecutively, and Jen had to wait the full 8.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, yeah, it was really interesting because at one point you turned to us and it's like, oh, you sent us here. Did you know? And it's like, no, Alice sent you here because there was something here that she wanted. No, sorry, that 8 sent you here. 8. Alice said that 8, sorry.
Yeah.
My notes. But yeah, really good note there. Just like good memory of like why.
Yeah.
But also Alice being very quick to always turn the story to be what's important for us at the time. Yeah. And so one of the Lilins was supposed to receive all the gifts, but yes, they took the gifts by going through the doors before she could, which was an interesting part as well. And that she became the crone, and then Jen became the crone when the crone was absorbed into the tree. And then Alice is like, how can we help? And of course, the moment the joke is broken full cue.
Yeah, Rita actually like pinged me about that beforehand. She was like, I want you to do this. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. I need you to give me a signal. So they're like that little I look in the actual episode. I don't know if any of you noticed it like when we were recording, but like I look at Rena for a look because I was like, oh, this seems to be like a good moment. And I glanced over at Rena and she just gave me this little nod. And I was like, okay.
No, definitely not keeping an eye on Rena during that entire episode at all for any clues of anything of any sort. Yes, I could see the little nod, but I didn't expect that. That was really good. I like that.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
It was really fun post the episode of like, you know, just reaching in, pulling out these two stakes and being like, kill each other. Because post that episode, filming, I posted on the Discord the scene of the Joker snapping the pool cue in half and throwing the piece down. And I was like, no context.
Yeah.
I just love for the past couple of months, our Discord has just been a bunch of memes and GIFs with no context.
Yeah, so we can't give
a lot of
context.
sweat.
We don't spoil it for each other.
So many memes without context.
Brutal, so brutal. So yeah, Jen was like, you know your stories better than I do. You can't take it from here with you. And I mean, I have more elaboration here, but I would love to hear more from like Rena and Mel, who know the stories better than I do, a little bit more about. I think the last time I was at a recap, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, actually, like the story that specifically refers to.
So there's a specific Bahari ritual where there are volunteers that are of each of the clans, and it's basically reenacting the killing of Lilith's children, the Dino. And in the original instance, supposedly everyone was involved. So all of the antediluvians were involved in the killing, except for the Nosferatu and the Toreador antediluvians, who were the only ones to, you know, cover the faces, close the eyes, wash the bodies, that sort of a thing. So in this ritual, all of the other clan representatives get killed and sacrificed, and only the Nos and the Toreador are allowed to walk.
Yeah, and I think I made a line where I was like, well, we're all friggin' human right now, so we're not Tremere, Nos, and Toreador anymore.
Yes.
But, and I really liked how Lorna agreed and was like, I'm not going to do this. Like, let's find other options. And then we talked a little bit more about, you know, what led to this. And we got a little bit more of the lore around the crone and taking the gifts and stuff. But eventually I was just like, look, I believed you, Jen. I believed that, you know, when we said, how can we help? And this would help reset time, then it was like, if me dying is what we had to do, then we may as well get it over with. So I decided to take it into my own hands. And yeah, took my dagger and ran myself into the tree. This was after the tree had already told everyone that we're not worthy. So I was like, well, maybe if I bleed all over the tree, I'll be worthy. But I sort of did it in a way that was like, look, I'm not letting you two bitches stake me because I don't want it to be a fight. So as soon as the stakes were thrown down, everyone scrabbled for them. And I was like, I don't want this to be a fight. I want to go out on my own terms, but still fulfill the requirement that, you know, Jen said would reset time. So I felt that this was kind of the sacrifice that Lilith requires, you know, like no fear in the face of pain. Like I ran towards it, you know, the no fear in the face of death, but also no masters except yourself and Lilith. And so that's why I did it. But of course, everyone was like, oh shit, maybe this means that the ritual isn't complete if we don't stake her. So they all ran up. Well,
well, Jen was standing there. It was just like, I feel like you failed the trial. Like, that's not what was supposed to happen. What was supposed to happen is that you were supposed to be killed, not sacrifice yourself.
Yeah. But, you know, Dasha's gonna dash us.
You just gotta fuck it up for her own sake.
Yeah. And so immediately, you know, Alice is like, well, I'm gonna try and complete this and stake you while you're still, you know, bleeding out. And Lorna was very much like anti this and tried to stop Alice, and Alice was like, let me do this is what she would want. And so you did. And then Lorna refused to stake me, actually, which I didn't realize until I rewatched it. I thought she also joined in, but she didn't. She hands her stake to you, Alice, and says, do me in the front at least.
Yeah.
Which, you know, amazing way to go out. And kind of interpreted it that this is what was going to happen. you know,
Yeah,
Alice
watching
is gonna be
back,
to survive. Yeah.
as Lorna handed over the steak, I actually grabbed Tara's hand and we
Oh.
held onto it, but it was covered by the flowers while I was watching it back. Because
Oh.
that was Alice going, you've also, like, I've just said that Dasha asked for this. This is what she wanted. This is her sacrifice. This is yours. I'm so proud of you both. You're amazing people. Fine. I don't know what's coming, but let's fucking do this.
Yeah. Oh, so beautiful. And so she does. And then, yeah, there's just kind of a moment there where, you know, Jen mentioned earlier that like was asked for a wish and wished for everyone to be okay and for the world not to end. And then Jen asks Alice, you know, what do you want? And you're like, oh, I just want to see the world bleed.
First of all, I did the usual Alice of dancing around the question because maybe I don't have to answer it directly.
Yeah.
They asked again.
And then Rena was like, no, actually, you need to answer this, and orchestrated the Lilith voices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So then you're like, well, I just want to see the world bleed, which is going to be interesting for, you know, what happens next. There was actually a couple of other notes as well that like the longer that the candles burned blood, the more leaves that the tree got. So they're in the tree, which I think might be interesting and useful for later. And also Jen was like, just a kind of throwaway line of like, I wish I had something to read. And Mel did an amazing thing and handed over her actual journal. And be like, here's Alice's life. Here's Alice's journal. Here's something to read. So that's really.
I didn't know if Alice was going to hang around, so it was like, fuck it. If I'm not here, this will be something to pass the time. If this all gets reset, I may have never done these things. So have at it.
Also, your voice was breaking when you were explaining that you're handing your journal over to Jen.
Because it's a big thing. That book is all of Alice's hits, everything she ever did for the Sabbat. So it's a list of names of people that she could or could not enlist into the Bahari. And if she couldn't, she killed them. That's what she did. It was a list it was, you know, scraps of memories of her life with Samantha. It was things that she remembered from her family. It was meeting Dasha, meeting Lorna, meeting Winters, setting up the garden, meeting Nine. It's all those little bits and pieces. It's just little vignettes of Alice. It was basically a summation of who she is as a person, not what she was as a weapon or a thing. And now fucking Jen's got it. Not
Advantage,
freaking
Camarilla.
out at all.
Yeah, so that will be very interesting for the future.
Yeah.
I'm keen for that to come back up in season 2.
Yeah, same actually.
And very keen to see the parallels between Jen just wishes for everything to be okay and the world not to end, and Alice wants to see the world bleed.
Alice wants a lot of people to pay.
Yeah. I also just looking through my other notes, the only other thing was just like more accidental foreshadowing. So many times I mentioned being afraid of being stabbed in the back. So many times.
Yes.
Just like, I had no idea. It was so perfect. Well done, everyone. Yeah.
The timing of everyone was just perfect. Honestly. Oh, okay. Favorite moments with the Bahari, because mine, I think, was there's 3 moments. Actually 4 if you include Winters, but I won't say because I'm so annoyed with Winters and a fucking cookie.
Look, you made him roll for it and you were like, are you sure you don't want to use willpower? And he said no.
Yeah, he's like, no. I'm just like,
when the ST says, are you sure?
I know, right?
Maybe listen to the ST.
Maybe.
no, he wants the cookies.
Eat the cookie, eat the cookie, eat the cookie.
You stole the cookie from the cookie jar.
Winter stole the cookie and all of them.
I want the record to show that I remain on Team Cookie.
Yeah.
I support his choice.
Interesting that every group has had like this weird food sitting there and they're like, do we take it? We should take it. And then someone running me like, no, don't. Oh no.
Stop. Everybody stop.
Okay. So my favorite moments was, first of all, when Nine was explaining to Lorna that Winters is gone, and then yelling for Lorna to run, and Lorna like getting up trying to scramble towards the door, the janitor's closet.
Yeah.
The second one was with this broke me because I'm like I have to play as the villain, both the villain and the one being murdered at the same time. I have to play like 8 and 9 and while their battles happening, their conversations happening, and when Alice was trying to get trying to rip the head off of 8, 9 knew that was such a bad idea. That's why she threw
I
Alice.
just wanted to cover her eyes so that 9 got a shot in. That's all I wanted.
I will say, Rita, you flipped between the two of them
so
so
yeah.
seamlessly.
Yeah.
And in such a
It's
scary
not
fashion.
Concerning at all.
Incredibly good acting. Yeah.
We could tell exactly
Definitely
who was
acting.
speaking at what time.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh god. But yeah, I was just and then after that like 8 laughing. I was rewatching it because I need to make the TikTok for it and I'm like, wow, this is scary. I'm scared. And then my final favorite moment was when Dasha died. The one who was there waiting for her was 7.
Oh, I didn't write that down. Oh, that was so sweet. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah. We had a little moment with 7 and I was like,
Yeah.
I hope you win. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you
that
for
was
doing that. That
beautiful.
was very sweet. Yeah.
7 was so sweet. Meanwhile, Joel thinks she's evil. Fuck you, Joel.
Evil? I'm sorry, I carted her ass around all of frickin' Alice Springs saving her and feeding her, and I get yeeted down into the endless void. A Tremere region
Yeeted into a
gets
hole.
offed after causing endless torment, and Seven's like, no, Tremere region, you deserve a cuddle. Meanwhile, Trist, dying, ribs broken, organs out the bottom of the void, and he has Jeff winking at him. Damn right she's evil.
All 7 know is lie, eat hot nuggy.
The
and
first thing I
betray
do is if I
Trist.
see 7 is pick her up and just straight down into the void. And then be like, go give the Tremere a hug down there.
But yeah, those are my top 3 moments. Aside from Winters with fucking fucking Cookie, man.
Fucking Winters.
On a cookie, I give you cookie.
I hold no personal responsibility for making him delirious enough to eat the concerning cookie. No, my favorite part I have to be was I had been waiting to see the repercussions of making Winters walk for so long. And seeing it, it was just great. Sorry, Matt, once again. But I think... Sorry?
Go ahead. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, so I was going to go to my next point.
No, please go. Oh, I was going to say something different. Go ahead.
Oh, so I had to say my second favorite part was seeing Alice just full on scorched earth at the end. Just, I want them all to just pay for it. It was just a really cool moment.
Thank you.
Anytime.
It was very fun turning on the screen instead of having seen many of the other episodes and no longer seeing Alice the Nosferatu, but seeing Alice in chains, black hair. I'm like, what is happening? Oh god. Oh god.
Human.
I should add, I did not know that was going to happen. I did not prepare for that. I did not bring costume or makeup for that. That was what we had at the time, literally scrounging amongst everybody else's makeup because I'd only brought Alice makeup, and it was using what hair I had that normally goes down one side of Alice's head and trying to make it look okay on both sides.
You look great.
I'm glad it looked okay. I wasn't 100% certain until I actually saw some footage, and then I went, yeah, okay, it doesn't look completely terrible. It doesn't look like I've done it in 20 minutes. Fantastic.
My favorite part was seeing just the Bahari, again, because you expect the Bahari to be, as they're the, quote-unquote evil ones, to be the sort of the mustache twirling world enders, but seeing their point of view, the best villains are the ones where you really understand their point of view and you could see yourself acting in a similar way. And I think the Bahari are all really good at that because every one of them you're kind of yeah, I can see how someone ends up thinking this is the right idea. So seeing that, especially being when the scene with Jen there, it was really, really cool to watch.
Thank you, Jen.
I still maintain that, oh no, these two messiahs get to sit and have friends and chat and, oh wow, what's your experience like? And I get kicked in a hole.
That's
Sorry, did you say
anytime you
get to have
like.
friends and chat? I got one visitor in the entire time, and it was 500 years into my 800 years.
It may have been an over dramatization.
To be
So
fair-
I sat and cried until I was nearly dead, or deader.
All right, we're in the trauma Olympics, everyone.
To be fair, Joel, the one who thought of like Sparta kicking you into a hole was Lou.
I
That
never
tracks.
guess otherwise.
That tracks.
But it was really cool, yeah, especially seeing, like, you got that sort of sense in that scene as well of like this endless amount of time and space with like and having everyone there talking to Jen. It was really interesting to see like a group of supernaturals who are so powerful interacting not with a supernatural person, but like with another supernatural force that's so big. And the Bahari have seemed so in control of everything. To see them kind of like be in this state of space of, we're not in control of this, but we will find a way to move forward with it.
I think that was my favorite overarching thing about the entire episode was this is where you see the Bahari actually out of their depth when they've been cool, calm and collected and affect and change everywhere. This is the moment where they go, yep, we got nothing.
We're human. We didn't even get a chance.
I believe Alice may have coined a phrase with, what the actual ever-living fuck is going on? And
I was gonna say, one of my
to go, you look fucking awful. Like, yes, thank you. Someone understands this.
Yes, that was one of my favorite little bits, was just everybody telling Alice how ugly she was.
Well,
I
okay.
thought it was so funny. It's just like, you look like shit.
The reason that Alice was so perturbed by it is because as a Bahari, going through pain is a badge of honor because it's a lesson that you learn. As a Nosferatu, being embraced is incredibly painful. It's a very long process. She wore her face with pride because it showed what she had been through and the lessons she had learned. To have that gone, it's that identity crisis of, if I don't have this, who even am I? What did I go through that? Did I learn those lessons? I don't know. Who fucking knows? What's going on?
Oh wow, that's just like pinged on a theme for everyone, right? Every Bahari in that episode had a who even fucking am I moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I've lost my face, who am I? If I don't protect people, who am I? What am I even doing here? I can't do anything. And that's why at the end, when Alice finally knew what she wanted, because totally wasn't Melissa deferring for time or anything like that, because she had no idea what she wanted to ask for. That's why it was, no, I didn't go through everything that I've gone through. I didn't watch 9 die. I didn't go through Sam's death twice to come out of this and smell like roses. I want everyone else to know what I have gone through. Everyone else needs to pay.
I love it that your little delay there was because you didn't know how to answer the question, what do you want? Whereas, like, at least a decent handful of the I don't know what to do is partially Roman having stalling and having no idea what to do next. Like, me sitting there sobbing, going, I don't know, I've never done this by myself before. And I'm just like, yeah, no, that's just me stalling.
Well, it's also
Because
very
I was
Alice
like,
thing to never directly answer a question. So I was like, I'm using it. I'm just going to use it while I think very carefully in the background.
I just realized, did Triss get to ask for something, or did Triss just get told to make her bleed?
Triss got told. That was one of the very big things, especially hearing at the end when, what do you want, Alice? Like, I want the world to bleed. I'm like, I feel like I've heard that before from someone.
Gotta make someone bleed anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and that was like a big difference with the Second Inquisition, because the Second Inquisition is the different, like the most different group, because everyone else are vampires, but the Second Inquisition are like a hodgepodge of whatever thing they are. Human, Quajin.
One big happy family.
We're the leftovers of the week thrown in one big soup. It's delicious, but it's not exactly one ingredient that really works.
Yeah, and that's That's why it's like different, and I was hoping that it would create some questions, like why is the Second Inquisition's ones like different than the Bahari and the Camarilla?
It definitely created questions for us in there. It was interesting as well having Tara in filming our last one, because the whole time Tara was looking at me going like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh no, you've already filmed yours. If you're concerned, I'm really concerned.
Yeah.
And that's watching but the whole tone of the Bahari one was, I think, very, I know, like, again, and it's a testament to all of you as players, in like the characters at no point ever look like they're out of control. There's times where like we don't have the answer, but it's not like, it's never a case of, but we're out of control. It's purely, we don't have the answer to that, but we know exactly how we're going to find it. So seeing everyone like, we're all humans, this is a bit out of control, was really cool to see.
Thank you. Because wow, were we out of control? Like we had an idea, and then the second we walked in, we're like, okay, so that none of that is going to work. Cool.
Yeah, there was definitely like a thing of like having all your powers stripped away, which just like, oh, this made this entire thing like 300% more difficult than it needed to be.
Yep, and the Second Inquisition, if you have noticed, actually kept theirs.
Yeah, no, definitely noticed that. 100% noticed that. Did definitely not. What the fuck, Rena? While I was
Super
watching
rude.
that.
What did we keep? I'm sorry, I missed the line. My internet.
UA had her powers.
UA.
Oh yeah,
had her
yeah, we
powers.
did.
Huh?
Yeah,
I
we
think
did.
I messaged Joel at one point and
You
just
did.
went, what happened? Why? Why does she have her powers? What's going on?
She lost it at the start, and as the light like slowly turned on for all of them, she got it back, and she's like, oh. Walking towards the Shibari rope and tentacle monsters. I'm like, Dr. Yue, have some decency.
Yeah, our episodes really shouldn't be watched by a certain age group.
No.
Yeah.
R
Or
rated.
Jason Carl. Please do not watch only the SI episodes.
That's literally what I yelled out. I was like, this is the moment Jason Carl watches. He's like, hello there, young vampires. What's happening in this game? Oh dear lord. Like, maybe I'll wait it out. We'll see. Okay, 5 minutes later. Why are you my first golden shower? Oh dear lord.
Listen, I already, oh my god. Every time Jason pops into the Twitch chat to say hi, it's like the most embarrassing thing the SI is doing.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
It was
Toilet
uncomfortable.
chats. Yeah.
Which is
Sorry, we
not to
don't use
say.
the T word here, please.
Yeah, toilet steak is no longer on the menu today.
Somebody explained to Jason Carl what the toilet steak thing was.
It's canon now.
Why? Why
It's
did
canon.
you do this?
You wait for that pre-order of the players campaign, and there's going to be a kindred who's like, I'm going to sit in this toilet and eat someone, and like the door just gets kicked open and staked. Like, watch out for toilet steaks.
God. There's gonna be a hunter somewhere that just specializes in hunting vampires in toilets.
Predator type janitor.
But yeah, is there any notable moments that you would like to share that really stuck with you for this whole like entire episode from Camarilla to Second Inquisition to Bahari?
I really loved Dash's library. Like, I've
Mm.
very briefly a little bit spoken to Sophie about it today in messages, but that was so cool. It's like the memory palace. I'm like, this is such a cool idea. It also I do the Trist in me wonders what happens if you start ripping books apart, and what happens if you start stabbing books. But I still think it's very cool.
Looks like you'll have to take another trip to the labyrinth to find out.
Yeah, you know where
No.
to find it.
No,
Yeah, no,
Listen,
I have no better plans, better things to do.
I can't discuss. But yes, that's going labyrinth is discussing it is spoilers for the next episode. I don't want to have anything to do with that place.
I mean, Alice said go back in. Everyone she cares about's already dead. Why not?
I mean, I can only get kicked into so many voids. Eventually, there's got to be no more voids. I've gone down as low as I can get.
I have visions of a new series. It's just Trist Groundhog Day getting kicked into voids.
Yeah, so, well, he's just hoping this final yeet into the void will be the one that takes him home.
Now you're thinking with portals.
I'm not gonna lie. I think one of my favorite like things that happened in like all 3 episodes is still just Maxie saying, "Let's do what we do best," and lie to Jen.
Oh, yeah, I felt that for you.
Mm.
Absolutely, like every time I hear it, my entire soul just dies a little bit more. It's just, oh no.
We haven't hit our gaslight quota yet. We need to get it more.
I feel like most of this season, Jen has just been like the absolute like bitch of gaslight gatekeep girl boss. Like everybody keeps turning it on them.
You mean 7, 8, 9?
Yeah, and Maxie.
Maxie is the best one being
Mhm.
gaslight girl boss, excuse me.
I don't
think
know.
I've
The
seen
Bahari
it.
did well with gaslighting Delilah.
Yeah, very much.
I think it's very on
I
brand for
mean,
the
telling
Bahari.
her the truth. Yes.
The truth of Lilith.
Yes.
Yeah, the only truth that matters.
All right.
I want to say just quickly that I still love that right to the end that SI just, you as a team on every episode just always brings the levity and the humor, and I love that so many times you'll be like, no, we're going to be serious, and
We can't.
he's always like, come on, let's do this, let's be serious, and then I'm like, no, this is what I love about it, and especially this one, when the cam was just like crying the whole time and we were just like desolate the whole time, you were just cracking jokes and it was great. I loved it.
Yeah. The fact that the SI episode comes in the middle, you need that breaking up of the.
Yeah. It's the
It's a
fun
nice
and
bit of
the
levity.
despair
Yes.
sandwich.
Yes.
Levity. Yeah. Okay, that's all.
Who else?
I really loved seeing the commonalities between the 3 stories. So Rena just managing to line things up so that things in one episode affected or were seen or alluded to in other episodes. So case in point, in the SI, Seven had to clear the room so that Mr. Locke could get through, and that ended up harking back to Dasha's library moment. It was just mwah. And then the candles. Yeah, look, Rena, you do a phenomenal job. We tell you, but this was just the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake.
I am telling you now that at many points while riding the sky bus to work, that I have written a whole lot of like this whole, like my notebook is just insane because I'm trying to line up everybody's like moments of they've done this. I have to make sure that they know this in this next episode then.
But that's pretty, yeah, it's insane how well everything's synced up.
Yeah.
I had to slow down the Bahari a little bit because they were a little bit too effective.
Oh my God.
That's
we were trying to
cool.
get to
We
that.
didn't notice.
Yeah, we were trying to get Saltwine like episode 5 and you're like,
Yep.
no, let's just chuck these in there.
Let's
We
throw
close out.
Saracene at
Yeah.
No,
them.
but at the same time, that was like part of my plan because Saracene is also gonna be a big part of second season.
Oh, good. I get more chances to try and kill him.
Make a number.
Banana Boy's going down.
But yeah, it's a good introduction for like NPCs that will be showing up in season 2, so to speak.
Nice.
Honestly, a monumental effort every time. Just like, how do you do it? How do you run one game, let alone 3, that have interlocking stories? I just can't even. I don't understand.
It's
A lot
called
of
She's
red
a mate.
string.
She split herself in 3. What part of that didn't you get, Sophie?
Oh, right.
A lot of red string.
Yes.
a whole lot of red string, a whole lot of boba. Probably like just riding planes a lot.
Yeah, everyone watch out. She's taking another plane before the next season.
And before we get a text like, what are your thoughts about demons?
So did everyone like the Fae? We want to see more of the Fae?
Werewolves,
I'm
am I right?
I'm just picturing Rena's entire. Rena calls it a notebook. It's actually just a single room that's been plastered with like paper from like floor to ceiling with like red string all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Memory Palace.
Yes.
If we get out, I need to go to my mind palace.
And I laughed too hard that my lips slipped. my it cracked. It's great.
Oh dear.
But yeah, my favorite moment is still gonna be Joel or Triss asking like, "Who's this hole meant for then?"
Yeah, I did not see that coming. I probably should have. Now looking back, I'm like, yeah, I should have thought that one through. But I literally was like, wait, what? That's why the reaction to getting kicked was just like pause. It's like, yeah, no, I heard that right. Yeah, no, that is what was said. Yep.
Did it happen too fast?
Yeah. I think by that point Triss was pretty dead inside anyway. So I was just gonna say it was just like oh well, I mean, how could it possibly get worse? I mean, obviously, stupid sentence to say around Rena, but
I think my favorite episode, and yes, I've said this before, I love the emotional damage. I'm here for it. It's why I play this freaking game. But really, my favorite moment across all 3 episodes was still the what the fuck between Alice and Nine. Like, that was just silly. It was ridiculous, but it was so in character. It was glorious.
What? You're human? What are you doing? Labyrinth? Wait, you know it's a labyrinth? What the fuck?
You know way more than you've been telling. Spill. Yes.
Yeah, it's like a kid being caught.
Yeah. You think you're grounded? Just you wait.
Oh, she's been grounded.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was such a good season 1. At least the first to 7 episodes, and now we will be, at least for next month, it's gonna be all episode 8s, and I can't wait because this is the moment where you know the consequences of what happened with season 1.
Everyone to be re-traumatized. Exciting.
I see it
Here
as a
for it.
total win. I see it as a complete win.
Of course you would. Yep. Fine.
We all did what we were supposed to do, right? So it's all going to work out great.
It's gonna be fine. This
Everything
is fine.
is so fine. Scream.
At no point was Rena using this as a practice at all to see.
Internal screaming intensifies.
A practice to see how far along can I push the limit to this
This is
emotional
false
damage.
tech. We just want to run this small social experiment. No consequences.
I will say that again, everyone just brought their A game. I think my favorite part of all 3 was everyone's incredible roleplay and acting and just like commitment. So well done.
Agreed.
Bravo, team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Everyone's so great. Like, man, some of you guys, like, I can't do like the roleplay level that you guys can. I'm good at like playing like different people, but like trying
At
to
the same time. You play 3 people at the same time. I think you've got some skills there, Rena. It's
Just a few.
I don't do voices though, which like some of you all are like great. You guys like
You
have
do.
really
You
amazing
actually
8, 9, and
accents.
7
Voice.
all have different voices. They've
Yeah.
got different mannerisms. You hold your face differently. Are you on crack? No, you're just playing 3 majors.
Probably.
That
Take
quintessence.
the compliment, god damn it.
Thank you. Yeah. I just want hopefully in season 2 that some of the burden of playing the touchstone and the villain at the same time might be taken away from me.
I don't believe you at all. This is an elaborate trick to try and lure us into a false sense of security.
I'm not feeling very secure, folks. How about you?
There is no security. There is only the storyteller and pain.
And Zol.
We're not safe here.
It's okay.
Yeah, having other people come play our touchstones, not a safer option.
No.
That's worse. That's so much worse.
No, I
So
just
much-
realized how much I'm not okay with that. I have regrets.
Woo.
I
already
personally am
read that.
excited to watch it, you know?
I, for one, welcome the touchstones. I see. As an NPC, I am happy to see their fate.
As someone who, you know, at least shows up occasionally to offer wisdom and, you know, love.
And laptops to the face.
Nah, that wasn't me.
Uh-huh.
There was a master plan behind it. I just didn't really think through all this. It was step 1, throw laptop. Step 3, profit.
Right. Right. Glad that I became part of that plan. Thank you, Joel.
But yeah, is there any like last things you want to say before we end this?
Screw Winters.
Fucking Winters, man.
Winters was the BBEG all along.
God damn it, Winters. And he didn't even like stay to get all the consequences. He had to like bail out before it happened.
Bastard.
I feel like he got some
BBEF.
consequences. He definitely learned something about eating cookies. Totally learned a lesson.
The something he learned was cookies.
Cookies, yeah.
Mm.
He would do it again.
He now lives in
He would.
Arcadia, servicing Oberon, King of the Fairies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. In the office. But yeah, guys, thank you very, very much for joining us for this episode 7 recap of Red Center by Night. Let's introduce everyone once again.
I am Adam, and I have been playing Charlie, our Camarilla Banu Hakim.
I am Joel, and I'm playing Trist, the most aerodynamic dimensional jumper that ever has existed.
I'm Lou, and I've been playing Jeff and the cooler Jeff.
I'm Melissa. I've been playing Alice, I guess everyone's dead, Nosferatu.
I am Hollow, and I have been playing Jen, the very, very sad little cat boy.
I'm Sam. I've been playing the moderator, who's probably having a very nice day, comfortably in her office right now. A cuppa,
Not
you know.
dealing with any of this.
And finally, I am Rena, the storyteller for this
To go.
chronicle. Oh wait, Sophie! Oh my god!
I'm
Ooh.
sorry. I've been playing Dashimon Lang, the easily forgettable ambassador to the BTTS community.
Oh man, that's
I had like
So
the
brutal.
list, and then I had the list, and then Sophie's name was like on the
Rena,
second line.
please.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
So cruel.
Again, we're a finely tuned machine.
First, you
Well-
can't accept the gifts, and
There are
now
no
you're
mistakes.
forgotten in the recap.
I know, I love it.
Due to the scene of Jen like escaping, it's like, oh well, we haven't forgotten anything. Let's go, Alice. And like behind them, Sophie like comes out of the bathroom, like, you guys know there's a steak in there, right? Hello,
No,
hello.
no, it's the scene from fucking what is it? 2.5 Men. It's just like I feel like this horrible feeling that we've forgotten something
Forgotten
kind of that important. And it's just Doc just standing out there in the fucking rain.
Terrible, terrible.
Oh my goodness.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
I'm scared of the Tremere, so I remember them. I don't want them to get me.
It's okay, I like it on my own.
Oh.
The emotional damage continues up until the last second.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. And once again, my name is Rena, the one who forgets and very, very professional storyteller of this chronicle. Incredibly professional, no faults here whatsoever.
Perfect A's all across the board.
Yes, just don't mind the don't mind the really bulky carpet. That's all.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll see you again next month for the final recap of the season 1. That would be the last stop.
Yay!
Alright guys, bye.
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 Later.